things have come to light, and apparently Miller is tied to another missing woman from back in 2011.
It's freaky.
When news spread last weekend that 36-year-old Jameer Miller was wanted in connection to the kidnapping and murder of local nurse Patrice Wilson, it hit differently for this family.
Jameer, the grandson, say, "Ma, Daddy on TV." They was sitting in the living room, and he was watching TV, and he was on the news.
Day in and day out, we losing people left and right for no reason whatsoever. It's like, in my eyes, I'm looking at the world and I'm like, do you even have a conscience? Do you even have a soul? Like, what's really going on in this world? Where is the unity? I mean, even if you don't care for a person, or even if you love a person to the point to where you will die for that person, you should not go to the extent to be like, okay, well, I can't have you, nobody can. In this situation right here, I believe that's what happened. So over the weekend in Detroit, Michigan, a lady by the name of Patrice Wilson, she was kidnapped on Saturday. Now, my condolences to her and her family, because she ended up passing away due to this situation right here. Jameer Miller, 36, allegedly kidnapped Patrice Wilson on Saturday. Wilson was found dead Sunday morning at an apartment complex in Novi, Michigan, police said. Police found Wilson in a truck of an SUV suffering from a gunshot wound. Officials say that Miller and Wilson knew of each other and that it was possibly a domestic violence case. He has been caught. That's the great thing. He has been caught. I believe he turned himself in, regardless of the fact if he was found on the street. It was really going to be no way out of that situation. But for somebody to actually take it to that extent, okay, this is a woman, she just got off of work. She worked at a hospital. She just got off of work, and she's going home from a long day, and all she want to do is relax. The last thing that should be on her mind is her ex or anybody like that popping up, trying to catch her and try to do harm to her. Why is my people like this? That's the question. We need to put a stop to this. They're saying that it's possibly domestic violence. If you are in a situation to where you feel like you are in danger, please call some hotlines, call some family members. If you don't have family members, call some friends, call somebody who you feel as though could help. The best thing you should do is get out, get away, to the point to where they cannot find you whatsoever. I mean, at the end of the day, your life is more than gold. Your life is more valuable than money. So if you have to get up and uproot your family and leave everything behind and go, because your life is worth more than that.
A Detroit family looking for answers after their loved one was found dead in the trunk of her car.
Please, find them. Don't let them get away with this. She didn't deserve it.
A manhunt is underway tonight to find this man in connection to her kidnapping.
It's a tragic Mother's Day for the family of 29-year-old Patrice Wilson. Thanks for joining us. I'm Will Jones.
And I'm Priya Mann, in for Pamela Osborne. After Patrice Wilson's shift Saturday morning, police say Jameer Miller approached her as she was getting into her SUV, forced her over, and fled with her inside. Police discovered Wilson's body last night in the parking lot of her Novi apartment complex. Her family still has so many questions. The biggest one, why has he not been found? Megan Wood spoke with them about what these nearly 36 hours have been like.
Her son cannot hold her and say Happy Mother's Day to her today. That bothers me.
And Patrice's mom, Rosalind Livingston, wants it to bother you too, so much that you helped them find Jameer Miller. Police consider him armed and dangerous. Rosalind says the two used to date.
She dated him for a while, and she's been trying to get away from him, because she know he was toxic for her. I've been telling him a mother knows.
She even shared with us this viral video of what's believed to be Jameer outside of Patrice's home in 2021.
You breaking in my house, Jameer?
Now, as a mother who had to see her daughter at the morgue today, she says,
yeah, I can't say the perpetrator name because you took the life out of her. And I seen it today.
She tries to think of happier times.
She was even thinking about going back to school. And I was like, oh, what you gonna be, an anesthesiologist nurse? You gonna be making that money, girl.
But then it hits that she's gone. Patrice's grandmother, Pamela Golden, can't make sense of it.
She knew what she wanted to do, how she wanted to do. She was a good girl. She didn't deserve this. She definitely didn't deserve this.
Someone knows something. They're sure of it.
I need the streets to talk. We need to find the person who killed Patrice so she can have some justice.
Meantime, Detroit Medical Center released a statement tonight. It reads, "It is with deep sadness that we offer heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and DMC colleagues of cherished nurse leader Patrice Wilson, as well as Patrice's mother, another dedicated DMC team member. Patrice was not just a coworker, but a loving friend to many at the DMC. Grief counseling is available for all staff at our adult Central Campus hospitals."
As we hear that and we saw that video, doesn't it irk you to know that it's people out here like that that will go all the way to the end of the road? They're willing to end their life and somebody else's life, you know? And they said that she tried to get away. The mom said that he was toxic, this, that, and the third, and it had to end, and she ended the relationship. She didn't want to have any type of entanglement with this man, but he still didn't want to let go. Why can't you let go? Like, this is not the end of the road for you, bro. But yeah, this now is the end of the road for you. You done crossed that threshold. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this hurt my soul because it could be my sister, it could be my cousin, it could just be any female out here that I know, and it will hurt my soul, it will crush my soul if something like that was to happen, knowing that they tried to get away, knowing that they tried to say, okay, you know what, you're not good for me, I have to move on, I have to live my life. I know that if I continue to be with you, you will put hands on me, and it can lead to something worse than the situation that I'm already in.
Let's start first with this awful murder of a Detroit nurse. The chief a few minutes ago classifying this homicide as a domestic situation. Apparently that nurse we spoke of, Patrice Wilson, and this suspect, Jameer Miller, had recently broken up and he would not take no for an answer. We understand that he turned himself in Sunday at the Detroit Detention Center alongside his attorney, and those charges for now are pending. But after his picture has been circulating here on Fox 2, really all over social media the last couple of days, some things have come to light, and apparently Miller is tied to another missing woman from back in 2011.
It's freaky.
When news spread last weekend that 36-year-old Jameer Miller was wanted in connection to the kidnapping and murder of local nurse Patrice Wilson, it hit differently for this family.
Jameer, the grandson, say, "Mom, Daddy on TV." They was sitting in the living room, and he was watching TV, and he was on the news.
Jim Miller Sr. is linked to a missing nursing student, 24-year-old Bianca Green, who went missing in 2011, last seen in Inkster. She was pregnant. Miller and Bianca had dated and have a child together, Jameer Jr. Here is Miller at a Crime Stoppers press conference back then, holding their son.
It's hard being a single father, and it's hard for me to even tell him what's going on.
We ain't never give up hope, but we was trying to give Jameer the benefit of the doubt.
But now, after 12 years, this family is questioning everything after learning Miller was arrested in connection to Patrice's death. She was found shot to death in the trunk of her car in Novi after being kidnapped leaving for work at Detroit Receiving Hospital Saturday. In Bianca's case, family always suspected foul play. You know she wouldn't have left Jameer Jr.
She wouldn't have never left Jameer. That was her, like her Velcro. She wouldn't have never left her son.
Miller has an extensive criminal history for gun and drug charges, assault, drunk driving, and running from police. He was questioned but never charged in Bianca's disappearance. Romulus police, who led that case, did not respond to our calls to see if the case will now be re-examined.
What do you hope comes out of this now that Jameer's in custody?
That we get some type of closure.
Chief White very much aware of that case involving Bianca Green. He says they're now working with Romulus police, sharing notes, comparing investigations to now see if this changes anything from a case. This family has been desperately looking for answers over the last 12 years. I can't imagine it wouldn't be re-examined at this point. Now, involving the latest homicide that we were discussing earlier, no charges against Miller at this point. We will continue to keep in touch with the prosecutor's office. Reporting live.
I can't even believe what I just heard. Like I said, I never even heard this part of the story, but they say he was on the news in 2011 when his baby mom had passed away, right? And we literally just saw him on the news, just right there, like, just, hey, yeah, if anybody has any information, please let us know. But they're saying now that he's the one that possibly committed that crime. This person has to rot in jail for the rest of his life. Like, this does not make any sense. I mean, now this is allegedly, but at the same time, like, this type of stuff intertwining like that, and it's so close to him. Oh no. I'm like, they have to deep dive and do an investigation on him. This whole situation is unraveling right before our eyes.
Yeah, Jess, we're hearing about this quite a bit. Just the other day, a well-known Oakland County employee died in a domestic murder-suicide situation. Now this seems like this is an issue that just is getting worse in many ways.
Yeah.
That is exactly what the chief said earlier today. He said they are seeing a rise in domestic violence here in Detroit alone. 12 people victims of homicide, and the chief is classifying those as domestic violence related.
At the end of the day, not only did he take out his ex-girlfriend, he ended up supposedly, allegedly taking out his baby moms. Why can't people nowadays just walk away? The men, unfortunately, why can't y'all just walk away from situations? Yeah, okay, toxic can be okay, toxic can be cool. When toxicity start turning violent, you have to hit the brakes and be like, this is not really something I want. It's all based on how people were raised, right? So some kids may see their parents get hit on, right? And they may think it's okay. So they think that it's normal to put hands on their lady or man, which that is not right. Okay, if you're in any domestic situation, please walk away, because at the end of the day, nothing good will come from it. You may think that, okay, he's doing this because he loved me, he's doing this because this, that, and the third. No, that's not the way love is shown. Love is really expressed through the heart. Love is expressed many other ways, but for you to get hit on and to get bruised day in and day out, and you think that that is okay, no, you need to seek help immediately, because it can take a turn for the worst.
She was pregnant. Miller and Bianca had dated and have a child together, Jameer Jr. Here is Miller at a Crime Stoppers press conference back then, holding their son.
It's hard being a single father, and it's hard for me to even tell him what's going on.
We ain't never give up hope, but we was trying to give Jameer the benefit of the doubt.
People is just sick as hell. Like, to what extent do you make the decision that you're gonna go ahead and play God and take somebody's life away? At what point do you even make that decision? I'm gonna show you guys when Jameer was at Patrice's door.
Jameer, you breaking in my house? Like, are you serious? You breaking in my house, Jameer?
Why would I break in your house?
What?
Why are you at my door with gloves on and all that?
So, as we look at this video right here, she already know who's at the door. Mask on, everything. So that just goes to show you that she was basically getting traumatized by this man. I'm not even gonna call him a man. She was getting traumatized by this male, okay? And so he has the audacity to come up to the door with a mask on and some gloves. He got on some latex gloves. Are you serious?
Jamir, you breaking in my house? Like, are you serious?
At what point do y'all lock these people up? If she has a rap sheet against him, basically like a personal protection order, this, that, and the third, and I'm not going to say that's going to save you, but if you're in a situation like that, you have to take those precautions. So when that time comes, you'll be able to defend yourself. I encourage all of the ladies out there to go ahead and get your CPL license, CCW license, because in this day and age, yes, you should be carrying a weapon. Unfortunately, these men are not real men out here. These men are trying to have their way, and at the end of the day, you have to be the one to draw the line, and you have to be like, no, this is not happening on my watch. You are not going to be able to take me away from my kids. You have to make a stand. And I know a lot of people be like, you know what, well, you know, I understand exactly where you're coming from, but at the same time, I don't believe in weapons. I don't believe in this, and I don't believe in that. Well, one thing about that situation is if someone comes to your house and you don't have anything, how will you be able to defend yourself? Because yes, you can call the police, but at the same time, how long will it take the police to get to your location? Now, you don't have a police officer living in the house with you. No, you don't. So you have to protect yourself by any means necessary. You always have to be aware of your surroundings and what's going on. It's good that she found the red flags and she tried to move on, but in a lot of cases, some men, they will not let that slide. They're gonna be like, okay, well, I know where you live at, I'm gonna go ahead and pop up at your house. Okay, I know where you work at, I'm gonna pop up at your job. Okay, I know where your mom at, I'm gonna go ahead and pop up around the corner. So these men is crazy nowadays, and the real men, we have to put these males in check and let them know that that type of stuff don't fly with our women. Yeah, I come on here laughing and joking, but this is not the planned day, okay? We not playing today when it comes down to this type of stuff. Listen, we just lost a good person in this world, and I don't know her from a can of paint, but what I can tell you is she was actively working. She had a job. She was living in Novi, so she was getting her stuff together, and she was only 29 years old. You know, we will run into not so good people in life, and we try to move away from them and continue living our everyday life. And you know, in this situation, she did all she could do. We have to go that extra mile to make sure that we good.